Well, hello, everyone. I'll keep saying hello till I see this scrolling section. Oh, my printer's still going. Hi. There we go. Jen Taylor Consulting. So today I'm going to talk about the 8 CEOs in your business. And you're like, wait, what? There's 8 CEOs in my business? Well, yes, there are. And they're all in your head. I wonder what's printing. Oh, we're printing out a second copy of something. Hold on. We're going to turn that off because I don't need 2 of them. So why are there 8 CEOs in your business? Well, there's multiple facets of your business. So what are they? They're financial, operations, client experience, team growth, visibility, products and offerings, systems, and personal growth. So you may say, well, I don't have all 8. I don't. Well, yeah, you do. If you're like, I don't have a team. It's just me. Well, you do have a team. You may have a bookkeeper. You may have a VA. You may have people that are in your business. They're not necessarily employees, but they are in your business. And they are part of who you are. So let's go through them and how you can tame them, harness them, make them work for you, or make you realize, well, this is just a bunch of crap and I need somebody to help me with this. So, financials. You're the chief financial officer. So besides the CEO, you're now the CFO. So you're looking at what's the money coming in, what is going out, who needs to get paid, who, are the credit cards going up? And the financials is also, do you have insurance? Do you have retirement? Do you have all the things that are financially around your business and around you personally? Because you and your business are tied. It doesn't matter if you're a LLC or a sole proprietor. I hope you're an LLC, but they are still part of a business. So they are still part of you. You still need to know, do I have a retirement plan? Do I have health care? What are the plans for that? Then there's operations. So you're also the COO or the DOO, or you're just going underneath your desk and covering your head going, I don't want to talk about this. So this is the operations. This is everything else. This is making sure that you're productive, that you have a standard operating procedure. You've created a workflow around your business, that you know how your business gets done. And you're not sitting there going, well, it's Monday. What do I do? I have my list of things to do, but I don't get anywhere because I'm spinning my wheels and I don't have what I need to get done. So, and if you do have a team, can the team be productive without you? Have you created those systems? The day-to-day administration, the setting goals, the developing the culture, your mission, vision, and values, promoting your business within the company, promoting within. And then the client experience. And this is a huge part. I mean, you have to have happy clients. So what does that look like? How do you onboard? Do you have an onboarding process, or you just fly by the seat of your pants? What does that workflow look like from the time they reach out to you via however you want them to reach out to you, whether it's by phone, by email, through your contact form on your website? Where does that go? Does that go to Sabo, or does it go to 17 Hats, or does it just go to your inbox? And so from there, if it just goes to your inbox, what's the workflow around that? It can still go to, like I said last week, it can still go to your inbox, but what's the process around that so they don't get lost? I mean, I was just going through my emails today. I'm like, well, crap, there's some emails I need to get. I mean, they're not client emails, but they're emails that I need to get done. I'm like, well, shit, I need to get, So this afternoon I'm sitting down and going through my emails going, okay, what needs my attention? Because there's days, as we all know, as entrepreneurs, that you're like, I'll get to that later. And then you forget. So what's your process around client experience? Because it all starts with them reaching out to you first. So then what's the nurture sequence around that? I'll go to an email term. your nurture sequence. You also have to nurture your possible clients so that client experience is great, so they know that you're not always thinking about them, but you're on top of that. So they reach out to you. Then what happens? Do you send them a link to a scheduler saying, please set up a time to meet with me? Or do you go back and forth with them to set up a day and a time? That's not necessarily a fun way to do business, is always looking at your calendar saying what's good, what's bad, and going back and forth. I always, in the past, before I had a scheduler, so if you don't have a scheduler, I highly suggest you get one. Whether it's Calendly, whether it's Time Trade, whether it's through Acuity, anything like that will make your life easier. But if you don't, and you're like, I don't want a scheduler, that's just too much, then give them 3 times and 3 dates that work for you. And then if it doesn't, then you go back and forth. But it's so much easier with the tools we have nowadays that can make your life so much easier. Then they've set up a meeting. What does that next step look like for you? Do you have a questionnaire you send to them before you meet with them, or do you just meet with them? What does that look like? And then how's the presentation look? Is it through Zoom? Is it in person? Is it a mix of both, depending on where they're at? What's the process? What's that? Do they get something when they meet with you? When my previous role as a wedding planner, they got a very nice brochure. And at one point, they actually got a contract. Now they get that all scheduled and sent via my client management system. So what is that for you? Then how do you follow up? Because half of getting a client is the follow up with them. So how do you follow up? Do you follow up haphazardly, or do you follow up on a systematic basis? I follow up with my clients 3 days after I meet with them, and again 7 days. And the contract they get or the proposal they get expires after 7. So I'm giving you all my secrets so you'll know. Then I do actually tell them, if they can't make up their mind on day 7, that they do have another 7 days if they'd like it. If they're like, nope, then I'm done. But I do give them 14 days in theoretical terms. So then what does that look like if they say no? Do they get on your list? I hope so. Do they get on your email list so then you can nurture them that way? Or you just let them go? And that's not always a fun thing. So what's that process? What's that workflow for that? And then what's the experience of working with you? Do you have your workflow set up? Like I accidentally deleted my workflow. I'm like, well, what the hell did I just do? So I went through and I revamped it. I said, okay, what's going to work for me now? What's that look like? Has it changed? And some of it has. Like I've added more tasks. I've added more things to do. And I've added things that are going through the process of working with them. Like once they sign with me, they get another questionnaire saying, they get a welcome letter. Thank you so much for working with me. Here's my best practices. Here's how I work. Here's my expectations of myself. And here's my expectations of you as my client. Because it goes both ways. Then you have a whole thing about, I give them a questionnaire, like, here's some things that we're going to be working on the business mapping. Please work on this before our first meeting. Do you have something like that? Do you need to have something like that? Just working with a client today, and we're going through and saying, okay, what questions can we send to them prior to your client meeting? What can you send? What do you ask during the meeting, and how can you make that a little more automated? And then you're done working with them. What's that offboarding process look like? Like we work so much on getting them on and making them feel loved and making them feel wanted and gifts and all of that. But what's the offboarding process look like for you? Mine is they get a questionnaire. How did I do? Can I get a referral? Can I get a testimonial? How was your life before you met me and started working with me? Now, how is your life afterwards? How have I made it more productive? Is there a referral program? Is there something to that effect? In my previous world as a wedding planner, they had a referral program. And if they referred to me, they got some nice gifts. So what does that look like? And how does that offboard? So that whole client experience is a huge part of your business. And it's a huge CEO that's sitting, that's a CEO that's sitting there every day going, you need to work on this. You need to do this. This is not right. You need to do whatever. So that's what I can help with. And then systems. Well, there's a whole nother CEO right there. CIO, sorry. Chief Information Officer. So now you have a CEO, a CFO, a COO, a CIO, and then you have HR. That's under, the chief of staff. So, here we go. You've now 5 people in your head. You don't even know it. So systems. What systems are you using? Are there systems that can be worked? Are there duplicate systems? Are the systems that aren't working for you anymore that you're just keeping around? Are there new systems that you should bring on? This is how I work with my clients. I first sit down and talk about their workflow. What do you need to bring on? Is there an app, or not an app, but a calendar, something to schedule? Is there something that you keep all your information on? Is there a Dasabo? I use Honeybook. Is there something that you're communicating with your clients that everything's in one place? It's not necessarily all on email. It's being housed somewhere else. What is that? What financials? You look at through this. What's your financial system look like? What's your client experience system look like? Is there multiple client experiences? Your CRM is your client experience. So your client relationship management system is all about the client experience. And then there's a whole bunch of systems around social media and marketing. You've got your emails, you've got your social media scheduler, you've got the social media things themselves. So what does that look like? So as a CEO, you have to sit down with your next, you're now 5 people in. Okay, Chief Financial Officer. Hey, I'm looking at you. What do we have? Can we, what's going on? The CIO is looking at that financial officer going, hey, dude. Hey, girl. I got this new system I want to put in. It's going to be really slick. The CFO's going, well, my boss is telling me, your CEO, that we don't have the money, but oh, geez, it's really looking slick, and we'll do a ton of stuff. And your client, your client experience, your COO, your operations person who's in charge of the client experience, mostly in charge also of your hiring, is also sitting there going, well, it would be nice. It'd make your life a lot easier if you had whatever the CIO wants. I would go with it because it's looking good. And so now you could be having this whole conversation in your head. And we haven't even gotten to the other 3. They're all pretty much under the COO position. So you really have 5 officers in your head, and then you have their tasks as well as that. So those are the 8 CEOs. So then the team. So, you now have a team of people. And as I said, it might not necessarily be employees. It could be your VA. It could be your marketing. It could be your financial. It could be your OBM. It could be a director of operations. It could be somebody like me sitting there going, okay, do you want to run them as a director of operations? That is a position that can then take over some of that team building, or that team, not building, but team meetings. There you go. So what does that look like? Are you having meetings all the time? Is there a way that you can schedule that themselves? Yes, Karen. That's why everybody is feeling so. There's all these CEOs in your head. There's all these chief officers. That's what I should really call them. They're chief officers in your head. But your team, are you running those team meetings? Or do you need somebody to sort of step in and let you be, I'm going to pull a phrase from Rocket Fuel. If you haven't read it, I would highly suggest it. Where you're the visionary and you get to a point where you're just like, I can't run I can't run my head. I can't run it. There's too many people there. I need somebody to take that and start taking the, the other people in my business and starting to meet with them. So a true director of operations will do that for you. And I will tell you, I'm not a true director of operations. You will hear all of my offerings here shortly. So team is under your director of operations, or your COO, your chief operating officer. And the next one is products and offerings. So now you're sitting there going, like I've been doing for the last couple months, going, what am I offering? What am I doing? I've got this new thing, and I've got these new ideas. So how am I going to offer it? What's going to happen? What does that look like for you? And looking at, that part of your business, like, what am I offering? Is it too much? Do I have so many offers I'm confusing my clients? Or am I only offering very little so they, or am I confusing them? Like, those are the things that you're like, what's going on? How am I offering it? How am I explaining it? What am I telling the people that I want to work with, how to work with me? I'll go back to my planner role, because you'll hear a lot of stories of my planner role. But when I look at other planners, they have, it takes up the whole screen of how many offers they have. I'm like, I'm so confused. I don't know how to work with you. And sometimes you look at it and go, and I've tried it the other way, where I'm like, hey, here's one, and then you can add on. And then they're like, I can't do that. I need something that is like set. I'm like, I'm giving you a basic product, and then you can add what you need. They couldn't do that either. So it's really trial and error on how you work with your clients. And believe me, I've done a lot of trials and errors. And so it's really, I can't give you a true how your clients do business, but if you're set on, these are my offers, it's the messaging around that. The one thing we don't talk, oh, here we go. The one thing we don't talk about here is visibility. So so now you're at the chief marketing officer. So there's another. So now you're up to 6 CEOs. We've gone to 5, we've gone to 6. Because as I said, HR, products and services, and team, client experience, yes. And this are all under operations. There's a chief product officer there. I'm sure there is in some crazy world, but you don't hear a lot of it. But the marketing person, you do. So visibility, where are you at? What are you doing? You've created the products. Now how are you going to market it? And how are you going to get out there? And marketing also includes networking. It includes this group. When I will tell you, it's hard right now. Like, I loved, as much as I am an introvert, I loved doing meet and greets or networking events, because I get to meet everybody in person and see them. And then I get to, get all my my extrovert out, and then go home and just be an introvert. Because people are like, you're not an introvert. Well, yeah, I am, because I like to be where I'm at right now. I like to be home. I like to have friends. I like to be with people, but I also like to be at home more. So but getting out there and being visible is a huge part of your business. That marketing and officer. So whether it's networking events, whether it's something like BNI, whether it's, what's your visibility? How are you going to be visible? What's that look like for you? And it could be part of the client experience as well. Is like, how do you, where's those clients at? Are you doing something marketing wise to get those clients? And then visibility is also with your potential vendors. That's, are you, what I did at the end of each year, and at the end of each year is like, okay, what vendors did I work with? I sent them thank you notes after every wedding. I marketed the shit out of myself. And it's hard to do that now. I will tell you. I am like, how am I going to do this? And so for me, this is part of it. This is the visibility piece for me. It's like, I found my people and I'm going to be with you for, I won't say the end of time, but I'll be with you for a long time, giving you this information. So figure out what your visibility plan is, what you're networking, what you're marketing, and then go from there. I was going to networking events at the height of all this, 2 or 3 times a week. And it gets a little draining. I will tell you that for an introvert. But I got my name out there. They knew who I was. They knew who they know me. Like, I would be like, oh, that's Jen Taylor. Yes, I am. But it's very much a part of this where you can get everything in place and get everything ready to go and do all that. But if you don't market, then if you're not visible, then it's all, nothing's going to happen. You may get word of mouth once in a while, but, B&I, chambers, local, groups that are within your industry are a huge part. I have a whole thing just talking about networking, but I know there's better networking people around here than me, but I have a ton of information on that. So that's, so your CMO, Chief Marketing Officer. So then what's the final 8? What's the last one? It's yourself. What's your personal growth? What do you want to do? What's the self-care around you? What's the things that you want to learn? You can put it in, you can have business things in there. I'd rather not. I mean, if you're going to learn something, it's going to be under the other 7 CEOs. This one's for you. So this one's like, what do you want to do? For me, I want to use that smoker. I want to be better backing up my car into the trailer and backing up the trailer. I want to be better at, I need to learn how to, I don't need to. I want to learn how to play the ukulele. I have a lot of things I want to do. I took a wine course because I wanted to take a wine course. So what's the personal things that you want to do? And these are all things that you set time for. Like, this isn't just things that you put on there. Like, becomes parts of your schedule, of your blocking of your time, of your rocks, whatever you want to say it is. That's, making sure you have time for you is part of that. So, and making sure you have that, and you have that self-care, and that expectations and boundaries are set. Like, when you're working and when you're not, and when you can do your things and when you need to do client things. So with that, I am finalizing my offerings. I had one offering that just came on the table yesterday. I was talking to my own business coach, and we put this on there. So I'm almost done with my brochure. I will have it out to everybody soon. But remember, I have and I'll put it in the link again, is the boot camp that's coming up in June. We go through your business, and then we create a plan for those 8 CEOs. We talk in depth, and that's a personal conversation. It's not a group conversation. That's a personal conversation between you and I and a Trello board. And we talk about all those 8 CEOs, and you get 3 meetings of those. So we talk about the 8 CEOs. We plan for the 8 CEOs, and then we break out the 8 CEOs into tasks and where they're going to be in your business. When are they going to get done? So with that, I hope you join me I'll be here next week. I'm here the first 3, whatever day, today's Thursday, the first 3 Thursdays of the month for the most part. But the business boot camp starts in June, and we go through your business, and then we privately go over your 8 CEOs and how we can wrangle them. So with that, everybody have a great Thursday. If you're in the Pacific Northwest and the Seattle area, it's lovely outside now. Go enjoy it. I'm going to go work outside on my business and enjoy my patio. And everybody have a great day. Okay, bye.